Hello, Jordan.
What's up, Michael?
Pick a number 1 through 10.
4.
Okay, first of all, do you have your 3 things today?
First of all, I spilled all over my shirt.
He goes with the redirect.
First of all,
The redirect is such a classic move.
no, I don't have my 3 things today. But you've got 10 things, so that's perfect.
You don't even have one thing that came to mind that you can build on to get to 3?
Not in this moment, bro.
No, wow. Okay, all right. Well, hey, I came underprepared last week, so it's only right. 1, 2, 3, 4. I started a new pre-workout. For some reason, I decided to buy Ghost, just like impulsively. Didn't really check. I mean, I looked at the label and monitoring caffeine, and I heard and saw that there's less like nootropic, less like brain stuff in it relative to energy drinks, which interested me. And some of the flavors just look good. So I impulse bought that. And the difference between that and anything I've taken over the last several years is kind of incredible. And I not sponsored, not affiliated whatsoever, but there isn't much mood boosting or like cognitive enhancement to it. But there's the physiological upside of like muscular endurance, like wanting to lift, like desire to lift without the positive mood, which I thought was interesting. I'm enjoying so far, 2 workouts in.
Do you know what's in it that like you really like about it?
No, I don't. I think it's more about what's not in it that I like about it, which is probably alpha GPC. There is choline in it, but I think alpha GPC is in like the Euphoria product, is in the Ghost energy drink, is in a bunch of pre-workouts that's like, you know, people would just take it to do computer work. It has that kind of effect, whereas this doesn't have that. I would imagine that has something to do with it. It also has artificial sweetener. I'm like 99% sure I didn't actually look, but it's delicious. And every pre I've taken for years is naturally sweetened. So that's probably part of why it is more enjoyable.
Is there beta alanine?
A little bit. I should actually look at that.
But not like a clinically effective dose?
No, I mean, 3.2 grams of beta alanine. I guess that, but I'm only having half a scoop, so 1.6 grams is not a ton. L-citrulline, 6,000 milligrams, so half of that. L-tyrosine, 2,000. Taurine, 1,000. Between natural caffeine and this like Neurofactor coffee fruit extract, there's 300 mgs plus 100 mgs, so 400. Half of that is 200. No, I don't actually know, but I just know that it doesn't give me this like euphoric mood boost, but does give great energy for working out.
Nice. I like it.
You're not a big pre-workout guy.
No. You know who really turned me off of pre-workout was Louis. Louis turned me off. He was always like, I don't want you getting jacked up for your lifts. I want you like pretty low key in here. So then when you go out to compete, then you use it. So then you get like the maximal. Like he wanted training sessions to be more zen, which...
That makes sense when you're competing.
Yeah, when you're a competitor, it's like you want to keep your training sessions as low-key as possible, so when you do get jacked up, you save it. Because that's where I think a lot of like this overtraining nonsense comes in. Like most people who say they're overtraining are not actually overtraining, number one. And number two is, I think a very heavy lift isn't stressful in and of itself as much as how much you hype yourself up for that lift. Like the hype up for that lift, like the smacking yourself, freaking out, like even the stress you put on yourself if you're not doing that, that's what's stressful about it, far more than the actual lift itself.
A lot of psychological stimulation, stress coming that way. That makes sense. For someone whose like main vice at the moment is the caffeine I consume during my workout, I'm not letting go of my pre-workout.
And you're not a competitor. Like you're not competing in anything right now.
I'm competing versus myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that makes a lot of sense. And for competitors / people who are athletes in general, I think using pre-workout or anything sparingly to peak when they really need it is a really good idea.
It also, I was literally just thinking about this last night. I feel like when people rely on something like pre-workout, for example, they often end up thinking that not logically, but emotionally and subconsciously, it's like if they don't feel really good or hyped up, then they just can't work out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And it's like you don't have to feel good to work out. You know what I mean? You don't have
Absolutely.
to. You don't have
You
to
work
fucking
out to feel good.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. That's
Right.
whatever. Yep. That's a great point. Imagine if everyone only worked out when they felt like super motivated and super hyped. There wouldn't be a lot of workouts going on.
It's a real crutch to be like, I need this to work out. That's actually what drove me away. One of the things that drove me away from the geared powerlifting world. It was like, man, I need to have this whole bag with all this fucking equipment in my bag in order to get a lift in, and I gotta fucking squeeze myself into these briefs or this bench shirt and get like, it's just, I just want to walk in shorts and a t-shirt or whatever and just lift. I don't want to have to rely on something.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. Pick another number. We got 10 things, so that we're going to be moving this episode.
8.
I can't prove this, but perfect temperature regulation. So keeping every space between 68 and 72 degrees, working in office settings, having homes like great temperatures. If it's a little too cold, you don't go outside. You go on the treadmill in the commercial gym. If it's too hot outside, you like to be in air-conditioned settings. Perfectly regulated temperature is making us soft and weak as a species.
Dude, preach.
We need more exposure to the elements, to the cold, to the hot. Definitely for the like psychological / mental toughness component of it. But I would imagine, and this is where I can't prove this, but there is physiological benefit to it as well. And we see this on the more extremes with heat exposure and sauna and the cardiac upside of that. If we look at the countries who are using sauna 4 or 5 times a week. I'm not even talking about that amount of heat. I just mean, it's 95 and sunny. Like, don't do your cardio on your incline treadmill at 70 degrees. Go outside and get a little sweat and be a little uncomfortable. It's good for you.
It's good to get a little sweaty. Maybe like be a little sticky, not be in this air conditioned environment all the time. Like if nothing else, it really makes you appreciate the air conditioning that you do have. And it makes you appreciate like the luxuries that we do have where, man, I know like if sometimes I'll get in my car and it's fucking hot. And I remember being a kid going to I haven't thought about this in years. I remember going to my aunt's house in Florida and not like we didn't have much money and they really didn't have much money. It was really difficult. And like she had a car without AC in Florida and like, dude, it was brutal. Like it was absolutely like getting out of that car, sweating like just crazy. I remember going back home being like, oh, it's really nice to have a car with AC again. It's even just having those moments where like, you know what, I'm deliberately going to be uncomfortable right now. Just so that I can appreciate what I really do have, I think it's an exercise in gratitude that is super helpful to keep you positive. Even last night, like I went on a run around the neighborhood and it was so buggy, but I'm getting like bit up, and so now it makes me appreciate when I am going to be inside more and I'm not getting all these bugs all over the place. But like, yeah, man, when you put yourself in those situations that are really uncomfortable, I think it's good mental toughness and all of that, but also it's like, dude, it makes you realize how good you have it.
Yeah. Well, there's hedonic adaptation to your environment too. So if you're only in 68 all the time, that's your new baseline. And then it's not like you appreciate it when you get it as a reward. It's that you absolutely hate any time when you aren't in perfect conditions.
You know, I similar but adjacent to this topic. I don't want to say his name. He made a post about it, so I'm sure he'd be fine. But I don't want to say his name just because I don't want to call him out. and it's not anything bad that he did, but so, all this talk around cold plunges and all that, I've seen a number of people having cardiac issues from getting into cold plunges. And one of our colleagues recently went into a cold plunge just because it was like a social thing. And he had to go to the hospital. Like he almost died.
No way.
Yeah. And I've seen a number of these stories.
We can bleep the name, but you got to tell me who this is. Really?
Yeah, dude.
Oh no.
Yeah. He's fine now. He's fine now. And he's fine now, but he posted about it on Facebook. And
I'm glad he's okay.
Dude. Yeah, me as well.
I like that guy.
Me as well. And this can all be in there. We're just going to bleep his name out. But I think he's great. And he probably would be fine if we said his name here. Yeah. But he posted about it on his Facebook. But yeah, it was, I've seen a number of these stories more, and I've seen cardiologists even talking about it. It's like, just so you know, a lot of people don't know they have underlying heart conditions, and you just put yourself in this really, really, really cold environment all of a sudden. It could lead to something really bad happening, and it happened to him.
I don't know anything. I'd never heard of cold exposure leading to potential for acute heart issues. I'm really glad he's okay. I don't have much to add. I know you're anti-cold in general, so I feel
I have a huge bias against it.
Yeah,
I have a huge bias against it, but I've also done it. I did it with you, and I hated every second of it. And
I hate every second of sauna, but I also know that there are benefits.
I'd say there are more benefits to sauna than cold exposure, but that's also my bias. But I also believe it too.
Definitely cardiac. Cardiac. More brain benefits to cold in the short term. Of course, it's dopaminergic.
Oh, you mean from a dopamine perspective? Got it. Okay. I thought you meant from like a
stroke or.
No. I thought you meant from an intelligence perspective or something like
that too, man. That too. It takes your IQ to the moon. 150 like that.
IQ to the moon.
That's right. Man. Well, I'm glad he's okay. Do you have anything that or do you want to keep picking numbers? We got 8 more, so you can keep picking.
1.
Speaking of heart stuff, I have an N=1 for everybody here. I stopped taking stevia. So several years ago, I started putting stevia in my morning coffee, and the amount of stevia necessary to equal Splenda or Sweet and Low in terms of taste of the coffee is probably 2-to-1, if not 3-to-1. And so I was putting 2 stevia packets, sometimes 3 stevia packets in a cup of coffee. And for years, I was having heart palpitations.
Shut up. I didn't know that.
Yeah, randomly. And I attributed it to okay, maybe I'm having too much caffeine. I was monitoring caffeine closely. Maybe this pre-workout I'm taking is doing something weird. I don't know. I did get a checkup at one point and everything was good. My heart was perfect. And she said, sometimes these palpitations just happen. It could be stress, could be whatever.
They're scary.
I wasn't that stressed at the time. Yeah, they definitely are. And once I got the check mark from the cardiologist, I wasn't worried. But it was still uncomfortable and didn't happen often, but uncomfortable. And I don't remember where I saw, maybe it was an erythritol to heart issue, random Cleveland Clinic study that I saw that I was I wonder, is there something there? And I don't think there actually is, by the way, but in terms of erythritol potentially causing cardiac arrest or something serious.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I'm saying I don't think that I don't think that I don't think there's a link there. Sorry.
Okay.
But I do believe that there was a direct link between my stevia intake, because stevia Truvia is the name of the brand, and Truvia is stevia plus erythritol in a packet. Since I stopped, which was probably 6 months ago at this point, I haven't had a single I'm talking zero palpitations. So
well, that's good news.
I don't know that it's actually bad in any way, given that the palpitations are supposedly completely fine and safe, et cetera, the cardiologist said. But I am almost certain that the Truvia was causing heart palpitations. And so
interesting.
N equals 1. Do what you want with that piece of.
But it's a good piece of data, especially just for you individually. And if anyone else is like having Truvia and they're experiencing that, it might be worth trying.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really good to know. Dude, those palpitations can be scary. That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Even when the doctor says like, oh, it's okay. It's like, yeah, but it's not.
See, that's where you and I differ.
My heart is going on weird.
You and I differ because when the doctor says like, gives you the exam and is like, you're 100% okay. You're like,
what you just trust the doctor. You're like, okay.
You're like, what if this doctor doesn't like me? What if this doctor
what if the doctor's hungry and wants to go to lunch and is just like, you're fine, you know? Like,
you gotta. I would be too anxious of a person if I didn't put faith in certain parts of the establishment. And here's my best example of that is flying on an airplane. I remember I was having 500, 600, 700, 800 mgs of caffeine a day coaching Gary in 2014, 2015. And so that was probably part of it, but we were traveling 100 days a year. You did it too. You know what it's like. And I would get nervous sometimes on like takeoff or turbulence or whatever. There was some bad turbulence.
Oh yeah.
And I came to the conclusion that like, I'm flying on an airplane. I'm just going to put faith in the pilots, that they're qualified and like the people know what they're doing and the math and the like the big data. We're going to be fine. And I really, knock on wood, I haven't had any nervousness around flying in 8 or 9 years.
Well, I think that makes more sense because the pilot, their life is also at fucking risk on the plane.
Okay, I see.
The doctor, you know what's really interesting? There's a lot of research on this, and I think one of the most interesting bits of research I read was, I think I studied this in college. This was super interesting. If you look at the people who are in a court case, right? They're gonna go see a judge. Okay, if you are gonna be sentenced by a judge, the time of your sentencing plays a big role in the leniency or the severity of your sentencing. Mm-hmm. The people who have their sentencing hearings, or like I don't even know if I'm using the right terminology, but people who are going to be have this hearing either first thing in the morning or first thing after lunch, have much more lenient results, whereas people who are right before lunch or right before the end of the day have way worse. The hypothesis is like the judge is like, I want to get out of here. I'm fucking tired. Like I don't want to hear this anymore. I'm out. I'm done. Which is like, there's a human element of it, which is one of the reasons why I think AI is such a useful tool for diagnoses and from a doctor perspective. I would trust AI more because AI is not tired. AI is not like, it will just, hey, here's what's going on. So if AI is like, yeah, palpitations are very common, definitely obviously check with your healthcare professional, but like palpitations don't inherently mean anything bad, I'd be like, yeah, I trust you more. But for the doctor, there's a human element that I don't know if I can trust it.
Depends on.
Yeah, it depends on the doctor for sure.
After having a conversation with it. But that is fascinating, by the way, the research that you referenced there.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, it would all be fair and equal and just, but we're all humans, and who knows? We all have our own biases and
that one's simple enough, though, that I feel like, I don't know. I'm putting my faith in the establishment,
dude. Sort of like when you went to the dermatologist, you didn't trust the dermatologist.
But I experienced both.
What does that mean? When you went to the dermatologist and they were like, "You're fine," and you're like, "Hey, I want you to check me for these fucking moles," and they're like, "You're good." You were like, "Hey."
All right, so we're going to back all the way up here. First of all, the cardiologist was unbelievably attentive. She listened. She made eye contact. We had a long conversation. She was receptive.
Okay,
she was like,
good.
Like it was
good,
like,
yeah.
I trusted this individual.
Yeah.
The dermatologist, I sat and waited for 45 minutes. This girl came in and like did this. First of all, she's like, why are you even here? I was like, I don't know. Like, honestly, the reason I was there, because my friend Jordan goes to the dermatologist. I've never been, but he's like afraid of cancer and like, it's like a pre-screening thing. And so I just want to get checked. I've never been, I'm in my 30s. But I was like, just getting a scan, just making sure I'm okay. She's like, you don't have anything in particular you're concerned about? I was like, no, not really. And she did this scan. Bro, when I tell you she used this little microscope thing and like looked over my body, and it took her 41 seconds to check my entire body. And she's like, you're good. And like walked out of the room in 3 total minutes. Yeah, I didn't trust her. I think she's just trying to make a dollar.
Yeah.
So I didn't go back. But
the experience was different. The cardiologist was attentive. It wasn't seeming rushed. It was like, what was the time of the dermatologist appointment?
She seemed more intelligent. Probably late morning. I don't know.
What was the time of the cardiologist appointment?
Same.
All right. You just have a good cardiologist. You need a new dermatologist.
I'm done with dermatology. That's a complete scam, by the way. An absolute scam. Oh, no, we talked about this woman because the one piece of advice she gave me was buy the bucket hat that has the long thing that goes all the way down your back, because you don't want to get any sun exposure ever in the summer. Yeah. I'm like, it's July, it's 90 degrees, like no sun exposure. She's like, long sleeve pants, da 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 da.
Never get the sun.
And then I asked her, I was like, are there any benefits to getting sun exposure? Like, as if I didn't know the answer. And she's like, technically there's vitamin D, but your hands will be exposed, and that's more than enough. I'm like, all right, I'm done with this. Get me out of here.
There are good dermatologists. I'm going to bring my dermatologist on my podcast because she's awesome. She wouldn't say that. She's great. There are good dermatologists, bad dermatologists, good doctors, bad doctors. It's not a scam, dude. It's super important.
I think there are levels to doctors, and
you mean in terms of type of doctor?
Yeah, I mean in terms of like
dermatologists get the shaft, dude. A lot of people. I think is there a Seinfeld episode about how dermatologists they just hate on dermatologists all the time.
I think it's just based on my experience and experience of other. You're the only person close to me who's had positive dermatologist experiences.
I love dermatologists, dude.
My dad. I don't even remember the joke. I've heard it so many times I should remember it, but it's something to the effect of, If it's wet, dry it. If it's dry, wet it. And if it's something, cut it off. Or like, and that's all you need to know to be a his dermatologist friend, I think, tells that joke. But I have to put trust in certain elements of the establishment. Otherwise, what are you going to do? You're just going to be overthinking and worrying about everything. That's no way to live.
Yeah.
And the pilot example wasn't as you're on a spectrum. on a spectrum, you would worry more about things of that nature than I would.
Yeah, for sure. I have more fear than you.
Yeah, but I think part of it's a choice. Like part of it, meaning
it's not a choice, Michael.
I'm not. I used to have more fear, and I decided I'm just done having that fear. I don't know if maybe I got lucky. Pick a number. Pick a number, any number.
2.
You know what pisses me off, brother?
Dermatologist.
Yeah, dermatologist. You ever driving and you're in a hurry to get somewhere and you're on not a 2-lane road. You're on a road with 2 lanes going in the same direction.
Yeah,
and
4-lane road.
And someone's going like the exact speed limit or maybe like 2 miles an hour over in the left lane. And then they go next to someone in the right lane, so you can't get around them. And then they don't move over ever, and they just continue to go like 62 and a 60 or 67 and even 5 over in the left lane is unacceptable, frankly. And then when they finally do go up and get over, so you can go past, they speed up like 7 to 9 miles an hour. Like for some reason, as if I don't know that you were just going the speed limit in the left lane.
Do you try and look at them to let them know that you're angry, or do you just like eyes on the road?
Depends how close to God I am at that moment. If I'm like, all right, like be a good person, I just keep my eyes on the road. This morning I looked over and I made eye contact. Like what you're doing is not okay was the message I was trying to send.
Would you like give like an extended eye contact? Did you raise your hand at all? Or you just like,
I didn't raise my hand. I'm not going to, I'm not, look, road rage is no joke, but I just gave him enough of a look to be like, come on, man.
That was unacceptable.
Yeah.
That was the look. You're like, that was unacceptable. Get your shit together, buddy.
I would say the look was like, you're better than that, brother. Like, let's do better.
What did his eyes say?
I'm texting and I have no idea what's going on.
Oh, was he texting?
Probably. I don't know. He was.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That'll do it. That's probably why he was going so slow, because he was like, hey, I'm texting. I might as well go slower right now. And he was completely unaware.
What's your
biggest?
Because
he was texting.
What's your biggest pet peeve, Jordan? And I think I know the
Ever?
answer. Yeah, just that comes to mind right now. Biggest pet peeve.
Oh, geez. When I hold the door open for someone.
Yes, and they don't say thank you.
And dude, it's so infuriating. Does that not bother you?
Not nearly as much as you, because it feels like a covert contract. It feels like if they don't say thank you and I get mad, then I'm like, well, was I just doing it so they would say thank you?
No, you're doing it because you're being courteous. And the courteous response is, hey, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day to hold the door. Especially if they're like, it's difficult, right? Because you don't want to hold the door open for them if they're like 30 feet away. Because then they feel like, shit, I've got to pick up my pace, jog in. That's not fair. So there's a distance limit.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say like anywhere from immediately behind you to like 7 to 10 feet is where you're unless the person is like disabled, has a walker, like then I'm sitting there. I don't care if they say thank you at that point. Like that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm happy to take this responsibility and to hold it for you. But if you're like able and you're there and you're within that 0 to 10 foot range and you just waltz right in without saying a word, it's just, I wasn't doing it for the thank you, but because you didn't say thank you, that's fucking obnoxious.
My wife's the same way as you on that one. She
her and I are the same way in many instances.
on a few things, yeah.
and then you know what would be even worse? If you let them go in, they don't say thank you, and then like let's say you're going to a coffee shop, and then they go in front of you.
Is there a Seinfeld about that? There's got to be.
I don't know. If they go in front of you after not saying thank you, bro.
There might be a Curbed about that, actually.
Oh, that would make sense.
Yeah.
I love that show.
Yeah, that's funny.
It's crazy.
Pick a number.
Have I done, was that 3? Yeah, 3, 4.
Nope, that
4.
was 2.
I didn't do 3?
Nope, you've done.
Let's do 3.
3 is shifting gears on the episode. Over the many years we've done this podcast, we have gotten, I would say, dozens of emails from men and women who are imprisoned, who usually are having like a spouse or a significant other or a friend or a family member write the email on their behalf, which takes work, who are fans of the podcast, who find value in the fitness stuff we talk about, in the like comedic aspect of it, and in the many of these individuals want to become or have aspirations to work in fitness upon their release. And I just think that in general, people who are convicted of crimes and serving time are overlooked a bit in our society. And I just want to give a shout out, and Jordan and I talked about this a little bit, shout out to anyone who's doing time right now. And we hope you get out soon and keep grinding and do what you can while you're in there and keep hitting those weights. And yeah.
I think it's cool that they're in there because it's been numerous people who have DM'd us, emailed us. They're doing time and they're learning and they're working to improve themselves. And they're like, I found a passion. I want to do this when I'm out.
Yeah.
So shout out to them and shout out to the spouses who are relaying their emails to us.
Supporting.
Support it. I mean, I can't even begin to imagine. So shout out all around.
Yeah. Yeah. Big shout out. Next number.
5.
All right. I don't know. I've been very off social media, which I feel great about. But last I checked in the hypertrophy world, there was a growing contingent of people obsessed with low reps who were borderline anti-high reps. Does that group still exist?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Super.
I'm dropping another N=1 in this episode. Over the last couple of months, the overwhelming majority of my training has been in the 5 to 10 rep range. So I actually have way more in common with these people than I disagree with them on. However, I do think there is benefit to variety in training, variety of exercise selection, variety of rep range, variety of rest time. Like, I think all of these things have their place. At the end of today's leg day, and I don't think I've done a set of lower body in the last 3 months that was outside of 5 to 10 reps. I maybe a 12 in there, like a hamstring machine movement, but 5 to 10. I decided I'm just going to hit this cable pull through, an exercise that the stability hypertrophy crowd hates, but I like.
I love that exercise.
Call it a B tier exercise. Cool. That's great.
No,
I like
S
a lot
tier.
of B.
I love
I
cable
don't even
pull-throughs.
care if it's B tier. I like some B tier. Some B tier I just like. They feel good on my anatomy. I feel like I get good results from them. I'm not waiting for Schoenfeld to do the paper in 2029. Like, I want to do the movement now. Shout out Brad and all the scientists. Like, great. But before the science, how are we making decisions? Intuition, experience, good. I throw a 2x20 little, my intent to take it close to failure, get a little glute pump, felt like it was a movement my body wanted in that moment. I would talk about the Ghost pre-workout, had energy after all the work that I had done and had time. So I was like, I'm going to hit this. The first set, I was way too aggressive on my weight selection. The first set I hit failure at 17, and my glutes were cramping so hard and so aggressively, and like in a way that felt so good and foreign because it had been a while since I did a high rep set close to failure. And then I took a nice long rest, used the same weight, and got to 20 on the second one, which felt probably equally, if not more, brutal. But N=1, intuition and past experience, not only the muscular endurance upside of a little bit higher rep training, but also taking a higher rep set close to failure or to failure definitely has its place for many goals, including muscle gain or muscle retention in a deficit.
I think even strength too. And this is something that, like, I include this within all of my programs, higher rep sets, like whether it's 12 on the lower end or 20, sometimes 25 occasionally on the higher end. But like, I think there's a time and a place for it for strength as well. And I think when people hear about strength, they just think about muscular strength without also understanding the tendon and ligament side of it as well. And I think tendons and ligaments, they respond well to higher rep training, and they also respond well to isometric style training. But even the isometrics are often for longer durations. So like, it might be 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 60 seconds, which is essentially, it's a
long set.
That's a long set, and which is very more similar to a higher rep set than it is to a lower rep set. So I'm completely with you, and I've stood by that, and I'll continue to stand by that. That's something I also learned from Louis as well. Whereas like you hear about Westside and powerlifters, and you think about all the heavy 1 rep, 3 rep, 5 rep maxes they're doing. You just think that's all they do, and a huge portion of the accessory work is this higher repetition range stuff. I think it's super helpful and important, and I think it actually allows you. It changes up your training mentally and emotionally as well. It provides a really fun stimulus to add within your training. It's a different challenge. It's a different type of pain that you're working through. And I think it's also, in my experience, less mentally and emotionally taxing compared to I'm going to go super heavy for 6 to 8 right now. Like, I think it allows for faster recovery time, and it really allows you to go super, super, super hard on your wicked heavy stuff. And then for that lighter stuff, it's almost like a little bit of a reprieve from a physical perspective, but it can also be really challenging for that longer duration set. So I'm with you completely.
Good added context.
6.
For people who don't have a business and are just consuming social media for the love of the game / the addiction to the dopamine, living in a comment section and like being a regular commenter on posts has to be one of the most dystopian, like awful places to spend your life. Literally. And I don't mean if you're trying to build a business using $1.80 strategy, you're out there like, trying to be helpful, gain attention to your brand, build your business. That's obviously not who I'm talking to. I'm talking to the person who is just doom scrolling away and like angrily dropping comments on random posts that they see and like fighting with strangers and like having back and forth in the comment section with people. Yeah, I can't think of in a developed country where you have an iPhone and like you have the luxury of not being in a third world country to spend your time doing that. I can't think of a worse living.
No. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
I can't think of a worse way to voluntarily spend your time.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense unless you're trying to build your own platform. It makes sense if you're trying to get attention to your platform so that you can further educate people on whatever topics. But to just be spending your free time going into comment sections after you've been angry about the post and seeing it doesn't make sense.
In the average comment set, like you probably have a great comment section. Like a lot of people in the fitness space have a great comment section. The average post on the internet, I don't think is a great comment section. I think it's like contentious and
I would say the average viral post.
Yes.
Whereas like the vast majority of posts have next to no comments, like because they're just not being seen.
That's a good point.
But the vast majority of posts that we see in our feed, which are being fed to us on purpose because they are typically more viral, they're getting more views. Yeah, it's not good.
Not good. Don't live there. Not good.
7.
Jordan was laying out his split for me the other day because I asked about his current workout split and he was giving me all of the days and what he likes to do.
And I know exactly where you're going with this.
And he had a grip strength day. Like you might have
not a day.
Yes, you did, because when I clarified, you said that you do it when you do on your Zone 2 cardio day. I don't remember. You combine it with something. But when you were originally laying it out, you called it grip strength day. I know for a fact because it stood out in my mind. I was like, whoa, you got a day for grip strength. That's like some people have a push day, chest, shoulders, triceps. You got a grip strength day. And then within moments of that, your brain must have jumped to the purpose of grip strength day because you were like, yeah, when like your daughter's going to be getting picked up for a date and you shake that guy's hand and you just want to have like just a strong grip on the handshake. And I was like, hang on.
Muscle. You want that meaty muscle hand.
Yeah, that's what you said.
You want them to feel the muscle like around your thumb and on like the bottom of your hand. You want them to feel it.
And I said, is that why you have a grip strength day? And without hesitation, you said yes.
Yeah. It's not because grip strength makes you live longer, which it doesn't. It's just that's an association. I have plenty of grip strength from a functional and livelihood perspective. I don't have enough meat on my hand for when my daughters are going on dates and I want to just like let the dude know like, hey, this is my hand.
How many years do you have to train for that moment?
Dude, I told my daughters they're not starting a date until they're married. So
makes sense.
Time.
Yeah.
Long time. Yeah.
What if they want to wed young, like couples from centuries ago?
Like 12?
Nope. That was not where my mind was, but like...
Centuries ago,
all right, decades, generations ago.
Like 18?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We don't need to go down this route.
We could go down this route. Listen, there are many marriages that start at 18 that are wonderful, and I care more about the quality of the person that they're with. So if it's a great person, I'll say this, if my daughters are 18 and it's like a 45-year-old dude, I'm not going to be happy about it. And that's really when I'm going to be like, I'm going to fight you.
The meaty muscle is going to come into play.
Dude, no, it's not even that. It's like, it's going to be, why
sick.
The fuck are you dating? You have nothing in common with an 18. What are you doing?
Correct.
Nothing in common. What are you doing?
These words might haunt me, and I pray that they don't, but I don't think that will happen because I would imagine for the majority of 18-year-old women who end up wanting to have a long-term relationship with a 45-plus-year-old man, there was dysfunction in their family unit that led to that.
Yeah. I mean, God willing, doesn't happen. But yeah. I don't have anything inherently against a young marriage. In fact, I think in many cases it's wonderful. I think that, ironically, I think our society now demonizes it when I don't think it's inherently bad. I care much more about the person that she's with. And listen, you learn a lot from hopefully every age, but like from 18 to 25, you learn and you change a lot. That doesn't mean a young marriage is bad in any way, shape, or form. I have friends who have got married young and are super happy and all of that. But it'd be more about who are you with. I think the cool part about that would be like, let's say she decides to get married young. My daughter's decided to get married young around 18, and the dude is, I don't know, somewhere between 18 and 23, 24, that's fine, whatever. The cool part about that would be, I feel like in that instance, I would be, no matter what, you'd be taking on a son, like that's your son-in-law, but it would almost be like you now have an opportunity to help him become a better man as they progress in their marriage, to help make sure, hey, like, what are you doing to provide? What are you doing to keep them safe? How are you growing as an individual to be a better husband, be a better father? That I think would be a fun thing for me.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be against it, but I would want to have a great relationship with him. So I'd be fine with a younger marriage, and I wouldn't. I don't think it's a good idea to say you're too young. That's the fastest way to get them to do the exact opposite of what you want. Like, I remember being younger, and when people say you're too young to do this, it just makes me want to do it even more. It's like, it's a horrible strategy. So there are other ways that I think you could go about it, but the age to me isn't that big of a deal.
Good.
What about you?
I think you covered that effectively. We have 10 things here. I don't have strong positions necessarily. I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. I'm equally against the 45-year-old wanting to get with the 18-year-old. You have at least 15 years of training up those meaty hands, though, so that's good news.
Yeah. So my training schedule allows for so much more. I'm like doing this 10 to 12 day training schedule. I like it so much more than that 7-day. I can fit so much more into a 12-day cycle.
Of course, yeah.
So I can have that zone 2 day and the grip strength day all in one. Yesterday I did zone 2, plyos, and grip strength, which was great. You know what I want to do? So you know how I've done experiments with like fat loss where, the Big Mac challenge or the blood sugar spikes or whatever it is? I want to do an experiment where I do the exact opposite of what is quote unquote optimal. So all these optimal bros who are like, you can't do cardio before you lift weights. I want to do an experiment where I sprint, do like the highest intensity cardio before I do max effort training. And I want to do the exact opposite of everything they say is optimal, just so I can show like, yeah, you can still make great progress. Like, I want to do long duration static stretching before I do maximal effort lifting, just to show, so I can be like, you guys suck. Like, all of the stuff that you're talking about, that you're like fear mongering about, that you're making people like, you should never do cardio before you lift. You should never stretch before you lift. I want to be like, you need to take 5-minute rests. It's like, I'm going to take 1-minute rests. I don't care. I want to do an experiment where I do the exact opposite of everything that they say is optimal, just to show like it's really not that big of a deal. Just fucking do it.
I like it. As an aside, you're not as agreeable as you think. You have a nice little Ari Gold bit of like contrarian / disagreeability in you.
It just, when it's something I'm really passionate about and I see people getting so far into the weeds on shit that doesn't matter, it's just obnoxious.
Especially when it decreases adherence.
Yes.
Like when you're overcomplicating something and putting too many hoops to jump through for Gen Pop, who would just benefit from like doing anything compared to skipping workouts or moving less. Yeah. And that's unfortunately a lot of what short form social media is, especially because it's new, it's novel, it's different, it's contrarian. It's too bad. Which is why I think a good recommendation is if you're going to consume short form content, cool. But then when you find a few people who you really like, I would jump on board with their long form content. I would listen to their podcasts. I would check out I would go deep on what they've written on their website, on their YouTube channel. And a lot of people naturally do this, people who are genuinely interested, information seekers. But yeah, we don't need to talk about the algorithms in this episode.
Are you doing grip strength?
Nope, I'm not. My hands are pretty meaty. Got some meat on these things.
Some hockey hands.
I don't know. They're just got some meaty hands. Yeah.
You ever do dead hangs?
Yes.
What?
I don't know. The way you said it was like I thought it was going to be more foreign of whatever you were going to throw out there. You ever do?
You do plate pinches? No.
Yeah. Yeah. Dead hangs are great. I love the spinal decompression of dead hangs.
Oh yeah.
Feel good on the shoulders too. And yeah, grip strength, taking a dead hang close to failure. It's no joke.
You ever do alternating dead hangs? So you go one hand, other hand, other hand. So instead of just holding with both hands, you go back and forth?
I don't know that I've done those before. Maybe.
You ever do cliffhangers, just one hand, single arm dead hang?
I don't know.
That's a fun way to like maximally test your grip strength with less time. So like you could hold on with one hand and then you could even hold on to a dumbbell with one hand down by your side and see like if you can hold on to like half your body weight for like 5 seconds, pretty sick. It's also a good way to test like, God forbid you're in a situation where you're hanging from a cliff holding on to a loved one.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Batman Begins in the training scene where Bruce saves Ra's al Ghul.
Yes.
Where he is sliding down the edge of the cliff. He goes after him. You know, he throws his like hook or whatever it is into the ice with one hand. So he's completely stretched out across his chest. And in the other hand, they interlock, like grab each other's forearm. So he's basically hanging on to this cliff with one hand. And then he has a 200-pound, so he has his entire body weight and he's holding a 200-pound guy. And then he does like this fly curl that like gets him up and throws him onto I was like, that's impossible, but impressive.
With the ice pick, it's down. It's not like a cross, right? Like you're holding on to it, just hanging straight down. Like, good luck, dude.
Yeah, that's insane grip strength. That should be your goal.
That I think it is now.
You have 15 years to make that happen.
To be able to throw a 200-pound weight over the Smith machine while I'm hanging from the Smith machine.
Yes. Wow. That'd be crazy.
I'd have to get on a lot of tests.
Hey, that's, I would love to do that.
Get on a lot of tests?
Yeah. Yeah, I would. I really would. I've been contemplating, because I turned 38 a few months ago, like trying to get in the best possible shape by 40 and then being like, okay, now I'm going to try test. But if I get in the best possible shape by then, I'm probably not going to want/need it at that age. So
I don't think you're ever getting on test.
I will. In my 60s, for sure.
I feel like you used to say 40. And
I know,
now that
I did.
You used to say at 40, I'm doing it. Yeah. I am doing it at 40. And now you're like 60s? Absolutely. And in your 60s, you're going to be like 80. I need it at 80.
Addictive personality, hedonic adaptation, all of these things scare me into like, just do it. 120 mgs a week. Oh, why not 140? Oh, this doctor with this 24-inch neck says I can do 250. Oh, why don't I? Like, it just, I feel like I'm protecting myself from it, and I feel like I don't need it. Although, do you know what I've thought about? Dad life and like limited sleep life, and this is kind of in number 9 and 10 that we're still getting to, is your hormones take a hit, for lack of a better term, from sleep deprivation. And so getting some exogenous input, I would really like on a day where I'm low energy and I just don't want to abuse caffeine because of lack of sleep. I really just wish that my test was at even 900, I'd be happy with.
Yeah. But 1200?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. That is funny that I used to say 40s and now I just said 60s.
Definitively 40. Like at 40, 100%. At 40, I will.
Maybe.
And you
never
skipped 50s.
I did. I don't know. I think I just thought of my 50s and was like, I'll be fine in my 50s. Well, it'll be an ongoing discussion. I definitely think that too many people right now, and people are not going to want to hear this at all, and that's too bad. Way too many people right now are looking for some kind of whatever it is thing to put in their body to optimize performance, optimize recovery, optimize strength, optimize aesthetics, optimize everything. What's the supplement? What's the hormone? What's the this and the that? And when the answer is right in front of you, like take care of the 7 basic. Move, strength train. People want to lose 30 pounds of it. Dial your nutrition, get enough sleep, get enough hydration. Like do these very basic things that are right in front of you that you can do before you try to find a peptide that's going to offset the fact that you're not in a deficit or the fact that you're sleeping 4 hours a night or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, 9 or 10?
9.
9. I am pushing 3.5 years of not being sick, which is a pretty crazy streak. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's going to come to an end.
What? Because you're not getting as much sleep and you're stressed?
Not even the stress, just I'm not getting as much sleep and I can feel my body trending towards that and it's going to come to an end, which is partly sad, but partly like, what are you going to do? Dad life. But it makes me more confident than ever in my anecdotal experience thesis around immunity and around like there's way more benefit to building up your own immune system if you don't want to get sick than trying to avoid other people who are sick. Like, oh no, they're going to spread germs on me, so I'm not going to like go to this public thing or do this thing because I want to avoid getting sick, is the wrong mindset. The right mindset is eat healthy, do the right things, rest, recover, manage stress, and then I can be around other people who are sick and I'm not going to get sick.
I have an anecdote that is super bro science-y and I have zero legitimate evidence on this.
Perfect. We need more of that in the world.
All right. So the research around vitamin C potentially reducing the duration and severity of a cold is pretty substantial. And for a long time, as soon as I would start to feel something coming on, I'd start super dosing vitamin C. Like I would just be like, I'm like have the vitamin C packets, and then I would get really, really sick. And in the last year, I've stopped taking vitamin C when I start like I'm feeling about to get sick, and my cold duration and severity has improved dramatically. And my bro science thought is, when I decided I'm just going to start taking vitamin C, my brain has just succumbed to the idea of, well, I'm going to be sick. And so then I end up getting really sick. But when I don't take vitamin C, I'm like, no, I'm not going to get sick. And it's just not going to happen. And I don't let it. Again, full bro science, zero evidence to support this.
But you still get sick, but you're saying less duration and less severity.
Dude, everyone in my house was just sick. Everyone. Both girls, my daughter, everyone was just sick. My wife, every time she's like, let's take vitamin C. And for the last year, I've been like, no, not taking it. And so she got super sick. My daughters got super sick. I had a tickle in my throat for 2 days. Great now. Great. And I think it's just, I don't succumb to it. I don't let myself get to a point where I'm like, I'm going to be sick. Because if I get there, then something happens where my body's like, yeah, you believed it. Now you're going to be sick. And I would get devastatingly ill. And recently, I just don't take vitamin C. And I'll still get a little sniffle here and there, but like I sleep it off. Sleep it off.
I'm happy for you. And I believe it. And I think you should continue doing it. It sounds like you're not saying that vitamin C is physiologically not beneficial or even detrimental for being sick, but what you're saying is when you would take vitamin C, you would adopt a mindset of, okay, now I'm sick.
Yes.
And then you would be more sick.
Yes.
Whereas vitamin C is almost a proxy for your belief that you're sick.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
When you don't take vitamin C, in your
I don't believe
mind,
it.
you're not sick. And then you're not sick. I love
That's it.
I love it.
That's it. Because the research on it is substantial. But for me, once I succumb to believing that I'm sick, I get very sick and I feel it. Whereas when I don't succumb to the feeling of sickness,
don't succumb. Don't ever succumb.
I haven't succumbed.
Don't succumb. Great. I think I'm the opposite, but that's okay. You're a little contrarian. You're contrarian on the science on this one too, which
you're also contrarian.
Am I? Which I love. For me, vitamin C does the opposite. It tells me like you're not getting sick. Like,
interesting.
You're around people who are sick, or you didn't get a great night of sleep, or you've been a little stressed, or like push your training slightly too hard. I'm taking vitamin C, which is like a shield. It's not going to let I placebo myself into, I took the vitamin C. I can't get sick. I'm supercharged. It's all in the brain.
It's the same thing, but the opposite strategy. You take the vitamin C because it's your shield, and I don't take the vitamin C because
that's your shield.
Taking it would admit defeat for me.
Yeah.
Whereas for you, taking it is like, this is my protective measure, so it's impossible for them to
just a little
penetrate.
Extra. My protective measure is my brain too, but it just is like a little extra something. I'm going on 3.5 years. I don't know anyone
you're killing it.
I wouldn't say that. All right.
You're killing all the germs.
Yeah, apparently. I like the bro science you pulled out there. Do you think that there is a space where is bro science right now as a percentage of the whole fitness space? If fitness space is a pie, bro science is a sliver. Where is it now compared to like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and 15 years ago?
It's getting smaller and smaller.
It's getting smaller. I think should we jump in there? We'll keep
in the bro science space.
We'll keep a foot out in the other space, but should we make bro science great
again? Yes.
Again.
Yeah, because it used to be the majority of the pie used to be bro science. It used to be like 98 bro science, 2% real science. Now I feel like
it's not just bro science versus real science. Like the optimal bros are in there too, which is like it's like a toxicity. It's like they OD'd on science. It's like they just took too much science and they started doing these crazy optimal exercises. I want a foot in science, but I also want a foot in bro science. I want a foot in art. I want a foot in the golden era of bodybuilding, the 1970s. I want a foot in intuition. I think we don't take away from science. I think we take away from the optimal bros with just some bro science, some good old fashioned hard, good training.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, we'll take it back.
10.
I've been putting a towel over my treadmill when I've been doing these morning cardio sessions.
Wait, you've been doing morning cardio again?
Yeah, I've been after breakfast though. After breakfast, just feels better.
For how is this recent? This has to be recent.
Yeah, it's recent. It's recent. But but you know, the number of sessions.
So you can't see the time.
Yeah, and it's changed my life.
Do you have are you watching your phone or TV, or is it are you listening to anything?
You know what? I have my step count on my phone, so anytime I put something up to watch with my phone, I realize that I actually want my phone in my pocket. So then I'll put an audiobook or I'll put music on or like a YouTube video that I can just listen to. So I'm not watching anything. I am listening to something, probably 65 to 70% music, and not seeing the time makes it go so much faster.
Interesting.
I know you were a big treadmill guy back in the day, or maybe
I use the treadmill several times a week. Yeah.
Well, you got the great outdoors down. I don't know, but I guess it's pretty hot in Texas. Did you ever cover the numbers?
One time, and I hated every minute of it. Alex Viata made me cover it. And not only did he make me cover it, he also said, I don't want you watching anything, listening to anything. He's like, I literally just want you to just do and it was like I forget how long, it was either a 45-minute or maybe even a 75 or an 80-minute session. It was the worst experience ever. And I was nasal breathing the whole time.
Okay, we'll set the nasal breathing aside. First of all, I love that he had you do that. Second of all, I feel honored to be in that kind of company. Third, and most importantly, good for him, because I think that nailed your personality profile in terms of what would be good for you.
Yeah, completely agree. I hated it.
Yeah.
I even told him, I was like, I'm not doing that again.
What'd he say?
I don't remember. I might have ignored it. Yeah, it was the worst.
It would have gotten better if you continued doing it, and it would have made the rest of your life better.
I think it would have gotten worse, and it would have made my whole life worse.
I promise you, like real science, not bro science or optimal bro, real science pie, it would have made your life better.
I think it would have made my life worse.
But I know it would have made your life better. So it would have sucked in that 75-minute window, but it would have made the other 22 hours and 45 minutes of your day better.
Or it would have made, because I feel like I get productive sometimes, and maybe it would, like, the whole time it would suck, and then when I'm done, I would have had less done. I mean, there's so much I can do.
No. You're spinning this into like, oh, I have these incredible content making sessions on the treadmill. You listen to an audiobook or you're watching something.
I'm learning. Yeah.
Sometimes, look, I'm not going to fight you on this. I'll just,
I hated it.
I stand with Viata. Yeah, I know.
You do.
What did King Arthur say? You got to go to the darkest, like the thing you're most afraid of, or the darkest part of the forest is where you enter, because that's where the treasure is. There's mythology going back hundreds, if not thousands of years relating to this, that hard is good.
That's what she said. You're trying so hard not to laugh. When I'm outside, it's much easier for me just to be like, not listen. Like last night, I went on a run outside, and
by the way, I don't believe you. You go no stim, no.
So I'll tell you what happened last night. I'm not lying. Last night. Oh, actually, okay. So last night I went on a run. I started off listening to this audiobook, The Looming Tower. But it was at night, and potentially mountain lions, whatever. I didn't want to like have my headphones on, so I first I just took them like halfway off so I could still hear, but then I was like, I can't listen to this, so I stopped. And then I called my wife, and I spoke to my wife the rest of the time on the run. But
so a couple of things here. One, you did have an audiobook in. Two, it wasn't like you wanted to do something hard that led to you not having it in. It was fear of death that trumped desire to be stimulated. You're like, my fear of mountain lion is greater than my desire to be stimulated. And third, after a few minutes of like running with nothing, you were like, I'm calling my wife.
She was like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, just hey.
What's up? Yeah. Like, I'll put in a little time here. Oh, that's amazing. Hey, your no vitamin C works for you. Vitamin C works for me. Covering the treadmill works for me. You like to see those numbers and know where you're at. Different strokes for different folks. Me boy.
This is a good one. This is a good episode.
Great episode. Please subscribe on YouTube. Please like this video. I'm pretty sure that the smart marketers would say just like one CTA here, but I'm actually going to go for a giant right hook, a massive. Could you, if you're listening still, and if Jordan and I have helped you in any way ever, please help us grow this podcast a little bit, even though, no, I'm not even going to qualify it. Like on YouTube, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review on either Apple or Spotify or wherever you're listening. If you could do each of those things for us. I know that's a pretty big ask, but that would make me very happy and help us a lot.
That would be amazing. It would make me happy as well. So thank you. We appreciate you. Have an amazing week. Talk to you soon.
See you next week.